For our fourth speaker today, I'd like to introduce David Reiki, Executive Director of Adavale Resources Limited. David is an accomplished director of ASX-listed companies. His career has spanned multiple continents and within Africa, Namibia, Tanzania, Eritrea, South Africa, DRC and Mozambique. He's overseen exploration and development, scoping and feasibility studies, production optimisation, stakeholder engagement, acquisition and expansion initiatives. Minerals of interest include base metals, gold and uranium. David has recently served on the boards of Zenith Energy, Paladin Energy and interim CEO to Poseidon Nickel. David holds a Bachelor of Economics and Graduate Diploma of Accounting from Flinders University and is a member of the Australian Institute of Chartered Accountants. If you would welcome David to the podium, please.
Good morning all. Thanks for the kind introduction, Deborah. All the best, gentlemen, with your projects in Tanzania. It's always good to see some Pathfinder events like that happening. Paves the way for us. Honourable Minister, thanks for the detailed overview of what opportunities lie within Malawi. Sadly, we don't have a project there, but there's times on our side. Looking forward. Look, congratulations for everyone for making it to the third day of the conference. Well done for hanging in there. Hopefully everyone's been caffeined up. The actual presentation I'd like to give today, the title really probably demonstrates our intent. We are an explorer. We're looking to find a Tier 1 nickel sulphide opportunity in the East African Nickel Belt. The investment thematic for Adavale. We are focused on nickel, but we also have the benefit of a foundation uranium asset. So that gives us an opportunity to demonstrate a task ahead of us, which is looking to participate in the electrification and decarbonisation of the world. We're very lucky to have secured what we consider to be a dominant nickel exploration portfolio in this East African Nickel Belt, which we see with the recent events and activities. This is poised to become an epicentre of nickel discovery and development in Africa and specifically in Tanzania, which is fantastic. I think with the actions that we've undertaken, we're now demonstrating that success really comes back to a dedicated methodology, a considered exploration program, and as a consequence of that, we're now generating a large number of high priority nickel sulphide targets. To that end, we've actually now moved quickly to be able to find something in the order of about 32 previously unknown opportunities and targets that have really been unlocked through the use of gravity, which we're very surprised to find was never a feature of any exploration program in Tanzania. It's been critically important for us. It's a free kick for other people following us. The other thing too we've got is we've got a team that's actually got a good cross-section of experiences. We consider we've got relevant and deep African experience, and through our technical director, he's called a non-exec director, but trust me, he's very, very hands-on with some of the decision-making that's happening. He's an explorer. He's demonstrated success in discovery. With that, with the assistance of Discovery Capital, we've recently undertaken a capital raising, and we are looking to now secure in the order of about $3 million through a placement. And we'd like to look after our shareholders, and we're also doing a rights issue that marries with that. 1.8 with a placement, 1.2 with the rights issue. Both parties will receive an attaching free option at 3 cents. Just a bit of a snapshot of our capital structure. We're presently commanding a market cap of around $18 million, and that's on the basis of a 3.5, 3.6 share price. Liquids and cash, we have $3.6 million available to us. Board and management have skin in the game. We think that's a very important feature of our company. And we've also been motivated with performance rights. At this point in time, I can lay claim to the fact that Grant holds most of the experience in our team with regards to activities in Tanzania, and he's a regular visitor to that part of the world. We think that's very important to maintain those relationships. My background, Deborah's explained that. I've actually had a wide range of experiences in resources, a variety of elements, but I'm a corporate guy. As mentioned, John Hicks is our technical director. He's called a non-exec director, but like I said, he's been very influential in overseeing a lot of the exploration activities. Rounding out our team is our CEO, Alan Ritchie, and Leonard Math is our CFO and company sec. I'll jump into what we have in the East African Nickel Belt. Kabanga-Jirani is Kabanga Brother, and Lahuma is an area that has actually already demonstrated some opportunity and some prospectivity. We claim that we're in this East African Nickel Belt. It extends from Uganda down through Tanzania and into Burundi. As a consequence of the methodologies we've recently adopted, we've generated numerous priority targets, which I'll dive into a bit more detail about. And we think that the company's now poised at this point in time with the proliferation of opportunity that's come from this exploration program, that we're really well poised to actually take this whole company forward and the exploration program forward. Just a little bit of an overview of the portfolio. It's 100% owned. We're having a farm in the Lahuma ground. It covers around about 1,300 square kilometres. It's a big land package. So what we'd like to do is adopt a methodology that's going to unlock the value that exists within that portfolio. The age of this particular magmatic event basically is very, very important. All the technical guys say that I should reference the fact that it's 1,350 to 1,400 million years ago. It's an important feature of it, and that actually references the fact that it's a notable setting for a number of other key nickel occurrences around the world. We are specifically targeting mafic, ultramafic late intrusives. Pathway to drilling. Very happy to report that we're moving very quickly to this event. This will be a feature of our narrative going forward on the ASX platform in the coming weeks, not months. Very proud of that. We've actually completed the soils, the geochem, the gravity. We're currently flying the EM. I would have loved to be able to give you more of an update on that, but we are well into it. We should have updates on that very shortly. Positive information coming back from that. We've actually taken the liberty of actually getting that information downloaded immediately to our technical guys before we await the final outcomes from the NRG survey that's being undertaken. The reason for that is we want to try and grab some time and move things forward, understand what we're finding, and actually starting to get an idea of where the drill targets are going to sit within our ground holding. Leading to the drilling, which is going to be taking place from the end of September. So the months of October, November, leading into December should be a Christmas present for us all, we are hoping. That will be a mixture of both diamond and RC. We'll do some RC recon drilling as well, but we're very focused on a program that will be between 5,000 and 7,000 metres and cost efficient and timely. I won't do too much on the previous activities and outcomes. It was a defining year for us last year. We did some drilling, we did soils, and I think the important inflection point for us is that by virtue of introducing the gravity, we got to a point where we found that the gravity with some of the recon drilling was giving us that correlation and understanding as to what the rock type was, and then we could use that to greatest effect to actually start delineating more prospects. I won't dive into too much of the drilling, but I will say that the feature of our thinking around the gravity really came back to looking at what publicly available information existed in and around Kabanga, our neighbour. Some important features of this is that we needed a tool, gravity, which we've now defined, what signatures those resources, high-grade resources, would have shown if they were applied using the gravity that we've used. So as you can see up on the slide there, that we've actually got a threshold there of about 1 megagal. So everything above that demonstrates that there's a dense material that sits below. If you have the right rock type, that's a really, really good indicator of what should be found below by virtue of drilling. So we think that in that forward modelling that we've done has been quite a clever improvement in our methodologies. As mentioned, we generated immediately 32 targets. I reckon there's a lot more there. We've actually located those ones that are probably more discrete and will be easier to attack. I'll dive into a couple of those other features that are important in our thinking and probably our programs moving forward. Something like 24,000 gravity readings over 1,000 square kilometres. It was done really well with the guys that we used. We can use that to great effect when we're looking at diving in and providing more detailed activities on ground using these same techniques. The number and order of magnitude of these gravity targets was really quite, it showed the prospectivity of this ground holding that we've got. So we're very happy with how that's come about. I did mention the fact that we're doing some additional programs. That includes Heli EM program, and that's actually being conducted over 9 areas, and that'll encapsulate probably 18 of our targets. Like I said, we've got 32, so there's another 14 that basically sit to one side. We are focusing on the ones that we think we can drill immediately and give us the greatest chance of success. We're really looking to actually identify these EM conductors, and that'll be the feature of the narrative and the announcements coming forward over the coming weeks. As mentioned, those 9 priority targets that we've got, I'll just digress a little bit. What we've got around here is Lahuma. Now, we already know that Lahuma actually had an intercept there of 8 metres at 1.1% of massive sulphides. That's really encouraging. We're using those types of events that happened in the past as a pathfinder for us going forward. More specifically, we already knew that this area here was mineralised, and it basically actually demonstrated massive sulphides. What wasn't a feature of any discovery or any drilling or any activity or any focus, because it was disguised with the overburden and the weather profile that we see in this area. These areas here and down here. So this HEM2 is probably going to be a feature of current activities or upcoming activities for us. So we're really quite excited where that's come to in our process. I won't dive into this. The beauty of that, of the fact that we've actually had this level of outcomes from all our ground holdings, means that we've pegged pretty well. We will redefine that. We'll focus on those areas that we need to maintain and will be a feature of any future drilling. Like every good exploration company, you've got to have something you don't really know, so you need to actually keep all the technical guys busy and keep the juices flowing to come up with some solutions as to what we've found and we don't really know what it is. Aptly named the Enigma, because it is. We think that there's, from the work that we've done, there's something really interesting happening there. It's more copper-nickel rather than nickel-copper, and that could be a demonstration of the topography that sits in this area. It just lights up, but we just need to go in there and find out what is actually happening there. So that's going to be a program that will follow on from our current drilling programs. Milestones achieved thus far. We've completed the regional surveys. We're moving now into prioritisation of what drilling targets will emerge from the Heli EM. And I'm happy to report that we're well into that, and we should be finished that probably by the end of next week. Understand what our priority targets are, and then move towards mobilising our drillers who have been identified. We just haven't actually finalised that final feature. So Q2, Q3 for us has been quite busy, will be quite busy. I think the drilling outcome, the campaign that's going to be in place, will see us actually have to make some reasonably quick decisions as to which ones of those that we'll really focus on. Our objective when you are an explorer, these gentlemen over here have actually got their resources. We want to get a resource. We've set ourselves a timeline of basically this time next year to be in that situation where we can actually be delivering that if the mineralisation supports that. Importantly, this slide, all you just need to read is the top line. Nickel, Telstra, haven't got Elon Musk, spaceman up there, but certainly all of those dynamics and all of that narrative is actually a feature of most presentations these days. It's fantastic to see that we're now sort of seeing that the country dynamic is also supporting this level of activity. We're seeing that there's basically a lot of activity that's also happening outside of Tanzania, but the one that will probably be a feature is that people normally go to where the sulphide deposits are. They're not everywhere, they're rare and they're in demand. And we've seen that there's been a lot of activity more recently with the introduction of BHP into our neighbour. That's a great thing. I'm a corporate guy. I see this as a real opportunity for us to sort of see what will emerge from this association. It's fair to say that BHP has put a rather significant investment in anyone's book into this company, but it's an option fee for them. They've gone in there, they put the initial monies in, $40 million into the project, $10 million into the technology that will support the processing there. it's a significant investment. So we actually applaud that. The relevance basically is that we're right alongside them. I will basically just dive into one other thing that's very important. It does feature in a lot of people's slides these days. We take it very, very seriously. We like to see that the Tanzanian social and community engagement is focused, is actually delivering something into the community. We're seeing at the moment that there's a number of regional opportunities that we are delivering to people. We are using wherever we can, local drillers, local downhole EM surveyors. We've got local field teams that are being generated there. And more particularly, we take the opportunity wherever we can to actually be associated with those sorts of institutions that are actually doing good in the community. Bridge to Aid, people may not have heard about it. Please just go onto their website and have a look at what's happening there. Infant oral mutilation is actually resulting in deaths. No one should die of problems with your teeth, seriously. We've also been very happy to be associated with Vaka Health Foundation. Andrew was associated with an award last year. We're happy to be associated with this one this year. Vaka won the award for the best workforce and industry development initiative. Essentially, we're training nurses. Once you train someone, that legacy of good continues for a very long time. So very happy to be associated with that. There's a Scan Me QR code on that slide. Please go to it and see what they do. Fabulous work. I won't dive into too much about, this is an African-focused opportunity. We do have uranium in our portfolio. It's a nice thematic. We've got some good ground. It's prospective. It's in South Australia. We're moving towards getting drilling happening there, probably by late September, early October. We've demonstrated the prospectivity of the area, so also watch the space. Just reinforcing, we're going to have a very busy time over the month of October. There should be a lot of information coming out, and hopefully we'll see some visible outcomes from our drilling into November and December. Very simple investment thematic, just what I've said again, exposure to both nickel and uranium. We've got proximal opportunities, high-grade nickel sulfide opportunities emerging in this East African nickel belt. You'll hear that a lot more. It's not just one party that's there. There will be other parties that will come into this. The actual Tanzanian government is open for investment, and we see that basically there's a clear pathway for a value uptick, value catalyst for us with the projects that we've got. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy the rest of the conference.